Welcome to the Pinkamous channel. Today I want to do a little bit of a different video. YouTube's anniversary is coming up. In fact, it might be the day that this is uploaded. That's right. YouTube is officially 16 years old, which is insane for me because I started watching videos on this website when it was only 4. YouTube was created back in February 14th of 2005. That's right. It shares a day with Valentine's Day. Isn't that cute? Actually, it makes sense because YouTube started off as a dating website. Oh my god, and they launched it Valentine's Day. They are actually brilliant. Oh my god. Chad Hurley, Stephen Chen, and Jawed Karim are the masterminds behind our beloved video sharing platform. The growing popularity of YouTube quickly became too much for them, so in November of 2006, they sold it to Google for $1.65 billion. Billion. Honestly, their whole story is pretty interesting, and I'm surprised no one has made a movie or a professional documentary about it yet. It needs to happen. Now I could go more in detail about it, but that's not what this video is about. You see, while they were creating this platform, unbeknownst to them, they also created the YouTuber. An entirely new profession that took the world by storm. Now that it's been 16 years since these gentlemen have created YouTube, I wanted to take a look at all of the over-the-top accomplishments that YouTubers have made that were unheard of 15 plus years ago. Say what? Some dumb YouTuber was able to do this? Whoa, bro. And just as a disclaimer, I'm going to be mentioning YouTubers that you may not like. In fact, some of these people are quite controversial. While yes, some of them are bad people and who have done very bad things, it's not what this video is about, okay? I just want to use this in order to celebrate how far the platform has come since its inception and the things you're able to do through it, okay? Alright? Sweet. Let's just get started then. Now, there really isn't one certain way to start, so let's just pick someone at random. Let's talk about FaZe Banks and the Fuze Clan. FaZe Clan is one of the biggest gaming organizations out there, number 4 to be exact. If you look at the financial side of things, here's a list of their partners. Also the celebrities who have invested in FaZe Clan, which are Pitbull, Ray J, Offset, and many more. And that's not even mentioning all the basketball players and all the music executives who are also invested, both financially and emotionally. But if you want to put the money stuff to a side, here's a list of the games that they play competitively in the esports world. Now here's a list of the revolving cast of characters in their org, a bigger ensemble than Avengers Endgame. But how did FaZe Clan become as... Whoa! Yo, did you guys see that? Yes, I knew it! I knew it! Yes! But how did FaZe Clan become as huge as it did? Well, it's because they had the foresight early on. That's right, their third eye opened, and it told them to make FaZe Clan a mixture of esports players and YouTube content creators. Luckily, bringing those two different entities together leads to a happy, metaphorical marriage. Da 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 da. Da, da, da. So good job to Banks and the rest of the clan for all of their accomplishments. There isn't really an easy segue here, so I'm just gonna go. Let's talk about podcasts. YouTuber podcasts, they're a dime a dozen. The podcast world is so oversaturated. Believe me, I know from firsthand. I used to host 2 of them. And it's not just because of YouTubers, alright? Every comedian feels the need to have a podcast. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm starting to see more and more politicians starting podcasts. Like Michelle Obama has one, Hillary Clinton, and I just heard Mike Pence is starting one too. Just, okay everybody, not everybody needs a podcast, okay? Can we all agree with that? Okay? Now if you're a YouTuber with a great following and you start a podcast, it's automatically gonna do well. However, these podcasts rarely escape the YouTube stigma. They're not able to go toe-to-toe with the quote-unquote big podcasts. But thanks to statistics, I can point out the 2 YouTuber podcasts that do the best. According to a website called Podcast Insights, in the top 100 US podcasts on Apple Podcasts in 2021, the only YouTuber podcast that is on there is Views, which is hosted by David Dobrik and Jason Nash. They are sitting pretty at number 69. But on a website called Edison Research, they compile a list of the top 30 US podcasts on all podcast platforms, okay? All bets are off on this one. That was me throwing dice. That wasn't me. Fuck. The competition is way steeper on this one. They can only choose 30 podcasts. The Spotify numbers count, unlike in the last list. And this YouTuber podcast I'm about to mention just barely made the list. Ranked at number 27 is none other than the H3 podcast. Wow, Ethan. Great moves. Keep it up. That's what she says, right? Michelle? Again, disregard your feelings for these shows. I don't care if you hate the H3 podcast. I don't care if you think that David and Jason put little to no effort in views.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to View.
Yeah, that was good. That was in the pocket.
This is our intro episode.
Yes.
Woo! This is the beginning to what hopefully will be something cool.
Okay, disregard that last thing I said. I never said it. It's a good show. At the end of the day, these are the two most popular YouTuber podcasts, all right? I'm sorry that your favorite podcast didn't make it, okay? I don't care if you think that Impulsive was the best thing ever invented. All right, you hear that, Logan? All right, Impulsive is not the #1 podcast in the world. Cool. Statistics do not lie. Actually, speaking of Logan Paul, ooh, that segue works. Let's talk about boxing. Because, you know, that's the thing that YouTubers had to get into, obviously. Now, Joe Weller and KSI are credited for the ones to start this trend, but it has now snowballed into Logan Paul getting the chance to fight Floyd Mayweather. What? I mean, for those who don't know, the man is an undefeated boxer. Technically. And now here we are in 2021, and a YouTuber is going to get the chance to fight him. I mean, does not compute, beep, boop, beep. Now, I'm sure the boxing heads out there are going to get upset if I don't mention this, but to clarify, it's going to be an exhibition match. That mostly just means that they're doing this all for fun. And cash, of course. But not only that, Mayweather announced a few weeks ago that if Jake Paul is able to be his next opponent, that Jake will be able to fight Floyd too. Floyd Mayweather is most likely going to be boxing both Jake and Logan Paul by the end of this year. What an insane sentence. You know what? I mentioned KSI earlier, so I'm going to use that in order to segue into the next thing. Alright, let's keep this train going, alright? Let's get into music now. Now, of course, you have Justin Bieber, Charlie Puth, and Shawn Mendes, who all made videos on YouTube right before transitioning into becoming professional musical artists. I personally don't really like to consider these guys in the running because they were never really quote-unquote YouTubers. Shawn Mendes, kind of. But the three musicians that I did want to bring up that are/were YouTubers are Troye Sivan, Joji, and KSI. So right away, I do want to admit that I haven't heard much about Troye. I rarely hear anyone talk about the guy, so that's why I hesitate to say how successful he is as a musician, because I don't know. Also, KSI has a lot more work to do if he wants to achieve celebrity musician status. His music has done great so far, don't get me wrong, and he's been able to collaborate with people like Craig David and Anne Marie. I just think we should give him a couple more years. As long as he's able to keep up this momentum, he'll get there. But the real YouTuber turned musician is in fact Joji. The guy has been able to completely shed his YouTube skin and make music that has nothing to do with any of that. And by the way, it's not like he was some ordinary YouTuber before. No, he was filthy fucking Frank.
It's all a lie!
Yeah.
It was Chin Chin.
And yet the music industry just doesn't care. Either that or they don't know about that stuff, so we should probably keep it that way. Yeah. Regardless, congrats to Joji and all of his success. It's awesome to see. I'm just gonna throw a curveball at you. Makeup. Yes, the makeup industry received a huge shakeup once YouTubers in the beauty community got involved and created their own makeup lines, from James Charles to Nikki Tutorials. But Jeffree Star is the king of makeup on YouTube. And if he's not, go ahead and correct me. I don't care. Yes, James Charles has a bigger channel, but Jeffree lives in a gigantic mansion, has sold a shit ton of makeup palettes, and has hundreds of employees on his payroll, okay? No matter how many cancellations he goes through, Jeffree Star Cosmetics continues to thrive. Case closed. By the way, I love that several years ago, it looked like women were able to take control of the makeup world, but then all of a sudden, these gay guys come strolling in and say, excuse me, sweetheart, we'll take it from here, okay? Alright. I mean, can women just have one thing? One thing, please. Hello. One thing. Just let them have one thing that guys cannot have. Please. Now I want to talk about John Green, one of the Vlog brothers. For those that don't know, John has done pretty well as an author. He's written novels such as The Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns, and I mentioned those two books specifically because they both did so well that they both received movie interpretations. Now, the Paper Towns film was a moderate success, but The Fault in Our Stars was a huge hit. I mean, it arguably kickstarted Shailene Woodley's and Ansel Elgort's careers. And to think, it all started because a YouTuber wanted to write a teen romance novel. How about that? Especially when you think about the YouTuber book trend. I'm very glad that John Green went off the beaten path on that one. Alright, let's hop on over to the tech channels. One of the most successful guys in this field is Marques Brownlee. I mean, Will Smith said his name for crying out loud. You know, YouTube Rewind, remember that shit? Marques has done two big things that are worth mentioning. He's had a very impressive lineup of interviews. I mean, he's talked to Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg himself. And it's not just tech people he's spoken to. No. He's also exchanged words with Neil deGrasse Tyson, Kobe Bryant, President Barack Insane Obama. For a YouTuber, this rogue gallery of interviews is quite impressive. Mwah. Now, the second thing I want to mention about Marques is when he gave his audience his Tesla referral code. And I don't know how much each referral code is worth, so let's just hypothetically say $100. But the point being that so many of his audience use his referral code that he got a Tesla for basically for free. A free Tesla. That kind of influence is nuts and unmatched. I mean, name another place where you'd go besides YouTube. TikTok? Since we're talking about Teslas, why don't we just drive on over to the car community of YouTube, shall we? It's not one of the biggest genres, but the biggest car YouTuber pulled off something amazing. The creator in question is the Stradman. Now, Stradman was able to afford to buy a Bugatti because of his success. Now, to give more context, Bugattis are the most expensive cars out there. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. The one that the Stradman bought was actually worth $1 million. Only celebrities and people in the 1% could afford a car like this. So for Stradman, just an ordinary guy who enjoyed making car videos and who, by the way, came from nothing. I mean, this is a huge dub for him, and also for anyone else who aspires to make car videos on YouTube. By the way, I barely know what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff, only because I'm not a car guy at all. I have a very reliable source who has told me all of this is true. Oh, you know what? I have this framed Sokka picture that I should probably put in the background. Let us roll into the world of animation for just a moment. Now you have the big storytime animators like the Odd Ones Out and Jaden Animations, but I don't really know if they're getting any opportunities to make cartoons outside of YouTube. I have heard through the grapevines that Meat Canyon is actually starting to get those opportunities. But there is one animator that has found success that I can talk about right now, and that is somebody by the name of Psychic Pebbles. For those who don't know the guy, I genuinely think that he is the funniest person on YouTube. Nuclear take, I'm sure. And it's not even his old animation stuff that I was a fan of. You see, he's a personality on a channel called Oni Plays, and just the things that he says and improvises, it just leaves me in tears all the time.
Have you not ejaculated for a while on any kind of gross, but then you do it and it makes a sound?
No.
He goes, I'm not kidding.
I'm
not kidding.
Shut up.
It makes like a squirt sound. It's only happened once when I was.
That's a cartoon.
That's
stupidest goddamn shit I've ever heard. It's not big enough of a fucking massive liquid to make any sound.
It is. It's not the amount of liquid. It's the power of it.
You're a fucking scumbag.
That's really.
But to get back to the main point, Zach, along with his friend Michael Cusack, created a pilot for Adult Swim. It's for their show called Smiling Friends. And as someone who has seen it, I'm not exaggerating, it is so fucking funny. Now, it aired right before the COVID pandemic, so that definitely got in the way of the show's production. I'm really hoping that Adult Swim will pick up the show for a season, or at the very least give Zach and Michael a chance to do something else. I don't know. I just really want them to continue to succeed in the actual, you know, mainstream animation world. Alright, let's get to MrBeast already. Jeez, God. This man is an anomaly. He puts so much effort into his content, and he grows at one of the fastest rates a YouTube channel has ever seen organically. But Jimmy has had two huge accomplishments outside of YouTube that I would like to point out. The first being his tree initiative. With the help of many other creators, MrBeast was able to gather the community together in order to plant 20 million trees. That is so remarkable, no matter what the naysayers may say. Okay. And the second accomplishment, of course, being MrBeast Burger. That's right, MrBeast launched a fast food chain with 300 locations on day numero uno. Who is this guy? Now, I've had it, and let me tell you, the food is not extraordinary, but you know what? It doesn't need to be. I mean, I'm gonna have it again, and again, and again, and again. The point of MrBeast Burger, to me, is the accomplishment. That a YouTuber had the ability to pull this off is all that matters. If MrBeast wasn't already a household name, then he definitely is now. And you know what? I haven't even mentioned all the creators who have donated to charity over the years. I can't give you an exact number, but rest assured, the amount that creators have donated to charity over the years, it's in the millions, guaranteed. Now, I'm sure I've missed some things in this video, like there's probably a YouTuber out there who's killed it in the modeling world, or there's a fashion line that a YouTuber launched, whether that be Teddy Fresh or Cloak. I don't know how well they're doing, I don't know. Outside of YouTube, that is. And I'm also starting to see YouTubers come out with coffee companies, so we'll see how those end up panning out as well.
Dude, so for whatever reason, I just remembered that Ryan's Toys Reviews is a thing. How could I forget about the little fucker? I mean, we're talking about a kid who had some of the best CPM and the best watch time in YouTube history. I don't know if that's still true, but at one point in time it was. So, and cut to now where he has like toys of his own out at Walmart and stuff, and even his own video game. There's a Switch game about Ryan, like Ryan race carts. Step aside Mario Kart, you're going to go back there with Garfield Kart now, apparently, because Ryan is the new kart video game kid. But yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge Ryan Toy Reviews and all of his accomplishments as well, as long as with his parents, because you know, they run the show, obviously.
All of these accomplishments are well earned, and yet there's still more to be done, believe it or not. We have yet to see a YouTuber turn into an A-list actor. It still hasn't happened yet. And the same thing could be said about a YouTuber turning into a wildly successful film director. The closest we have is Michael Gallagher, and yet he's still in the bubble of making YouTube movies. So will he be able to break out of that? I don't know, we'll see. So I really want to see those two get done. You know, in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, there will one day, probably a few decades from now, we will have a YouTuber president. I'm sure that'll happen. Mark my words, one day a YouTuber will use their influence in order to win a US election. Crazy, isn't it? To go back to what I was saying at the beginning, I'm sure that the founders of YouTube must be shell-shocked at all of the success it's had over the years. Oh, if only Chad Hurley, Stephen Chen, and Jawed Karim knew back in 2005 that not only were they going to create one of the biggest platforms on the internet, but they were also creating a profession that allows any ordinary person to do anything. Literally anything. Yes, it's scary, and we've seen plenty of creators abuse that sort of power in terrible ways, but you know what? I just wanted to use this video in order to highlight the good stuff. You know, we all tend to focus on the negative stuff that happens on YouTube, so you know what? I just wanted to show love where it's due. You know what? My original intent with this was to make a solely good-spirited video, but I'm kind of feeling a little bad in the moment. Not gonna lie, like I don't know, like I feel like I just want to dox somebody right now, like literally right now, and not even think about it, not even worry about it, don't bleep it out, leave it in, you know, unfiltered. Oh my god, I might do it. I might do it. This is not a bit, by the way. I'm actually going to expose someone's location right now. You ready? Here we go. SpongeBob SquarePants lives at 124 Conch Street in Bikini Bottom. I don't know the zip code, but I think you have all the information you need. By the way, just to be clear, I do not condone swatting, alright? That's a big no-no. Also, I do not recommend you go to a famous person's house. Do not do that. I just wanted to dox SquarePants because the fucker had it coming, alright? He's been peeving me off as of late. In fact, let that be a lesson to anyone who feels like going toe-to-toe with me in the future, alright? I am reckless, and I am unhinged. Watch out. Alright, follow me at Pinkamous on Twitter and Instagram, and also subscribe. There's already some videos on the channel, so if you want to check those out. More are on the way, and until then, bye.